Sweet Life Travel Podcast is excited to welcome Malik Hunt. This is an extraordinary young man. I had the pleasure of meeting him in person at Cruise World 2019. But of course, I was able to follow the journey of him leaving one of my favorite brands, which is Sandals Resorts International, and moving on to Playa Resorts. You know, that kind of movement in my mind keeps it all in the family. Now, Malik has a very interesting story and he's going to share it with us. I'm not going to burst his bubble, but Malik, I would love us to start off by talking about where you're from and how did you get into this business of travel?
Sure, and I just want to thank you guys for having me on today's podcast with you all. Um, originally, I was born in New Jersey by my Jamaican mother, who was from Kingston, up in Parks Road, up in Stony Hill. But definitely loved the travel industry. It's kind of embedded in the soul, so to speak.
That's exactly what I wanted to get out there, guys. Malik is, son of the soil. He might not have had the distinct pleasure of being born in Jamaica, and I'm sure he's going to get me for saying it that way, but close enough. His parents are Jamaican. So he's Jamaican, but we always get excited when we meet persons of the diaspora. And of course, a lot of who he is, even without me asking, would have been impacted in some way by his Jamaican heritage.
And starting off with the travel industry, I was in the nightlife industry down here in Miami, Florida. I was plucked out of the nightlife industry by the VP of Sandals. He saw me and said, "You look like you want to be into the sales industry." And at that time, sales wasn't a thing for me. But he said, "If you find something that you truly love, you would sell it, no problem." Then he let me know, we have a position open for you, and there might be some interest for you up in Chicagoland. Now, me being raised down here in Miami, Florida, Chicagoland was the last place I wanted to go. That was way too cold for me. I left Jersey a long time ago, so I wasn't too intrigued on going back to the cold. But of course, they convinced me, and I'm glad that I did it because I was able to join this lovely industry of the travel industry. And then by doing so, I was one of the top producers for Sandals as far as production, training, seeing the most agencies through 2019, training the most agents throughout 2019, and spreading the Sandals brand throughout. But that brought a lot of attention to myself by other brands, and that's where Playa came into the picture. Playa Hotels and Resorts, I did a Jamaican Tourist Board road show, and the BDM at the time that was in Wisconsin, he definitely put in a great word for me with the team down here in South Florida, and they came a knocking on my door. And long story short, I'm here today in South Florida representing one of the best brands for Playa Resorts. We have the most resorts in Jamaica at the moment right now with the Jewel properties, the Hyatt Ziva Zilara, and the Hilton Rose Hall. And of course, a bunch of resorts off in the Mexico and the Dominican Republic.
It's nice to talk about the Playa brand as when Playa came to Jamaica, I think we were among the first persons, meaning my agency, Share Fantastic Travels and Resorts Limited. At that point, I had not transitioned into becoming a limited liability company. We were still operating as a sole trader. But I remember my first visit to what was the Hyatt Ziva Zilara was during just the end of construction, close to the soft opening, and it was a delight. I mean, I had goose pimples as I walked along and got the stories from the sales manager as they shared what the concept was and how it would change the whole landscape of travel to Jamaica. And for me too, I was looking for similarities because that property had been the Ritz-Carlton, which would have been one of the premier hotels. And I remember as well when the Ritz had been built and when it was opened. So it was a big deal for me to see how Playa would have come in and what changes, what enhancements would have been made. And it was very, very pleasing to the eye. Now, shortly thereafter, we were invited to the grand opening, and all the who's who and everybody was there, and it was a real spectacle. It was amazing, and of course, fast forwarding, having stayed there, and then just getting back from a wonderful week in Cancun, seeing the Panama Jack, experiencing the Hilton, and of course the Ziva Zilara. I am more than sold. And so, what I want us really to spend time talking about now, Malik, is this whole brand. Um, Dominican Republic has airlifts going now from Jamaica, and so we want to position those properties. Cancun, for me, it blew my mind time and time again. I'm pretty much ready to just pack up and go live in Cancun. So talk me through, why Playa, how Playa, when Playa, specials, deals, offers. It's all yours.
I mean, there's so much with Playa. I mean, it's hard to even pick a starting point. But we'll start off in Mexico. So in Mexico, we got tons of resorts from Cancun, Mexico, to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, as far out as Los Cabos and Puerto Vallarta. Now, the brands in Mexico, we have the Hyatt, which is a Hyatt Ziva and Zilara, and then we also have the Hilton brands there as well. And also, as you stated, where you stayed at the lovely Panama Jack Resorts, which is perfect for the families that are traveling together. And going into the Cancun zone, we're mainly in the hotel strip, the main hotelier strip in Cancun. So we're gonna be right on that beachfront property there, with three hotels are basically within 10 minutes apart from each other. At the tip of the seven, you have the Hyatt Ziva. Now that's gonna be a family-friendly resort. With that property there, you're looking at an adults-only experience inside of the Ziva property called the Turquoise Tower. So that gives the opportunity for multi-gen families to go down there and enjoy themselves with the family. So you can have grandma and the kids hanging out at the Ziva side while mommy and daddy are up in the Turquoise Tower enjoying themselves. Because we all know mom and dad need a break, right? And grandma and grandpa want to spoil the kids. So that's usually the resort that they usually choose when they go down to Cancun. It's a family. Then going over to Panama Jack, which is right next to the Hyatt Zilara. That property there is also a family resort. Great multi-gen family resort there as well. Oceanfront swim up suites. They do turtle hatching on a regular basis throughout the year. And those swim up suites are sitting right next to the turtle hatching station. So you can be sitting in your swim up suites while you see the turtles hatching into the ocean. And then right next to that, you have the adults only Zilara property. Now, with that property is amazing because there's a three-story spa sitting inside of that property. I mean, 3 stories of luxury spa to enjoy every spa treatment that you can think of, and you have the opportunity of making your own scrubs as you get to the property as well. Just the Cancun destination. We haven't even gone over to Playa del Carmen. Playa del Carmen, we've made a whole brand new renovation to the Hilton Playa del Carmen. So if you're familiar with that hotel, it used to be the old Royal Playa del Carmen. And now from the top to bottom, we went inside and just broke everything down and built it right back up. So you're looking at all new luxury. So if you fell in love with that resort before, I always say it's stumbling distance from the Fifth Avenue. So you're able to get some tequila shots, margaritas, and stumble right back into the hotel because you're not too far away. Directly across the street from that Hilton Playa del Carmen, you have the beautiful Panama Jack Playa del Carmen. So similar to like what you have in the Cancun area, that Playa del Carmen is awesome for that family experience right across the street from that adults only experience. And right by those two properties is a ferry to go to Cozumel. So you can sell that destination for a 2-for-1 special with that one. Because by doing so, you'll be able to go to Cozumel, have a beach destination, and then still have that true Mexican authenticity right there in Fifth Avenue. And for all of the properties in Cancun and Playa del Carmen, there's such a mixture of different promotions that we have going on. From Playa del Carmen, if you're booking your guests there, they save up to 60%. At the Panama Jack in Cancun, they can save up to 50% there. Going over to the Cancun and Zilara, they have 60% off there with $200 in resort perks. And the Cancun Ziva, you have 55% off with $200 in resort perks. And then going down into Los Cabos, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But Playa del Carmen and the Panama Jack, you save up to 60%. Now, all of those offers are going to end February 5th of 2020. So you definitely want to get on the ball and start booking those ASAP.
Wow, this is awesome. I failed to mention that while we were doing our Cancun visit, we also had 2 nights, I believe, at Playa del Carmen. And I think with the short window of time, you get places mixed up, but that's where I fell in love. I keep falling in love, I tell you. I don't know. Somebody needs to help me break my fall. I'm always falling. But nevertheless, I love the Panama Jack. I love the fact that it was right there by Fifth Avenue. You could just walk out, and everything was just right within arm's length. I love the fact that just around the corner and down the road was that top end kind of shopping district, and then there were live performances just in the streets. It was just wonderful. It was a great opportunity. And then we did have a chance to go across to the Hilton. It was still being refurbished back in September, and we did experience a little bit of the spa, but there was just so much to do, so much to enjoy. One of the saddest things for me about going on or fam trips or opportunities to see the property is that you really don't get a lot of time to soak it all in. And so you want to go back and you want to spend longer. But for me, and I tell my clients all the time, if you wow me, you will be wowed, because I have been a few places and I've seen many, many faces. I've experienced many properties. And personally, the Hyatt, the the whole Playa family, as I have seen there in Mexico, it just basically takes my breath away. And thank you, of course, for mentioning that it's just a short ferry ride over to Cozumel, because that's also very, very important. And that is how we want to be positioning Playa del Carmen when we go through the booking process to get our clients going off to enjoy that part of Mexico.
Yes, I fell head over heels for the Playa del Carmen area. Just being able to go outside and see how many shops and the liveliness of the resorts, just right outside of the door of the hotel, that really sold me on when I got down to that property. And going over to the far west coast of Mexico, you have the resorts in Cabo and Puerto Vallarta. Now, over there, that is one of the most beautiful resorts we have in Mexico, because you're going to be able to see some whale watching when you go down there. And of course, the pools are heated at nighttime because it is a desert atmosphere over there. So you definitely don't want to be in the pool at 5 o'clock when the sun's going down, because it's definitely going to be cold. But the fact that we have those heated pools makes that experience so much more better and enjoyable for our guests. And the resort that's in Cabo is 5 minutes from the downtown Cabo, San Jose, and 20 minutes from downtown Cabo. So it makes a great location to get a real Mexico feel to it. Now, I love Cancun and I love Playa del Carmen, but that is a little bit more commercialized. So it's similar to like when we send people to Montego Bay and the Grill. That's kind of the commercial side of Jamaica. When we bring them to Kingston, that's where they get the true Jamaican experience. Vice versa for when you go into Cabo, you get that true Mexico experience when you get down there.
Now, Malik, one of the things for me that was very fascinating was the wide variety of food choices at the buffets. You know, um, in my previous job with stripper clubs, I worked as a translator, and I assisted the sales team on their sales bits to Mexico. And we were in the F, in the heart of Mexico City, and just going out in the streets, there were tacos that were made very Mexican, very typical culture. It's nice that you compare Utrius, Montego Bay, Negril with the touristy commercial side, as opposed to getting the authentic Mexican experience. Because my very first experience of Mexico was just that. And it was nice going to the resort, and I was still able to get good tacos, and I was really able to have my guacamole, and the offerings, the food choices, they were so varied and so good. I didn't miss eating Jamaican style. It's something that I could do all the time.
Now, my mom always told me my belly was long from when I was young. So when I went down to Mexico, of course, I tried everything they had to offer on property down there. And to this day, I can still say those are the best tacos I've ever had in my lifetime. And I've had Taco Tuesday everywhere you can think of here in the United States, but none of them compare to that authentic taco that I had down in Playa del Carmen. They had fish tacos, chicken, beef, you name it. And of course, the authentic style guacamole that they make right there for you. So you get that even in room service menu, you have the option of getting that to your rooms.
Yes, it's important for all of us. And as you go and follow me on social media, YouTube in particular, you will see that we make journals of food. And it's so very, very important. We travel for food, we travel to eat. And one of the things that I get from my clients many, many, many times is the commentary on the meals. And so, like example, I have clients who just came off a cruise and everything was wonderful. They were like over the moon, but more than once the comment was the food was bland. These were Jamaicans and the chicken was white. And this type of commentary is so very important because people travel for food and they travel with their eyes. And of course, if it's not appealing to the sight, then it loses a lot of the authenticity. And persons, even though it might be a different culture, they still believe that food must look as appealing as it potentially should be tasting, you know?
Was spoiled growing up only eating Jamaican cuisine. Up until now, I kind of opened up my taste bud palettes out into the other cuisines of the world, and I'm very, very particular about the food I eat. And you're absolutely right. So if the food is nasty, the whole vacation is just done away for you. But to go down to the property and eat the food that we had down there, for me, that was amazing. I was a kid when I was younger. My mom used to have to pick out the peas out of the rice and peas before I ate it. But of course, now I love it to death. Food plays such a pivotal portion of the culture experience that you get when you travel. So to have a great food experience when you go to our resorts, not only the Mexican food, but we also have abundance of other restaurants that give off some different cultures as well. And the authenticity to that food is spot on. But I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the Dominican Republic. Now in the DR, we've made so many changes to this destination here, and the amount of money that was put into these resorts, it goes without saying, the luxury does not stop at the front door. So the newest property we have down there is the Hyatt Ziva and Zilara in Cap Cana. Now that resort, $400 million was put into that property to make sure that it was beyond five-star luxury. So as soon as your clients get down there, they're going to fully enjoy themselves. From door to door, everybody has something for everybody. Amazing water park, huge slides. I personally have the tough job of going in quality control testing that resort there. But to go down to the property and then see all the phenomenal renovations that they've done to that resort, it just goes without saying how amazing it is. And then going over into right next door with the Sanctuary Cap Cana. It's literally a 5 minute beach walk just down the road, and it's all in that closed off area of Cap Cana in the Punta Cana area. So we kind of called Cap Cana the Beverly Hills of Dominican Republic. And that Sanctuary Resort has so many different components: a castle on property, villas, its own sanctuary town where they have bars, bistros, and the owner of that property comes from Spain. So all the steak, the cheese is imported from Spain right down to our property in Sanctuary in Cap Cana. And then really recently refurbished, the old Dreams La Romana is now the Hilton La Romana. So we separated the two resorts. It used to be a family resort, but now we have an adults only resort with that as well. Now, what I love about Dreams, that area, and especially the Hilton La Romana, is the fact that there is no seaweed or sargassum on that side of the island. When I say zero seaweed, no matter what time of the year it is, you will never find a drop of it on that side of the island just because of the way it's sectioned off. Similar to like a Ocherius, where it's a cove style beach, you have that same cove style aspect when you go down to La Romana. But of course, there's no beaches like Jamaica beaches, right? But that resort, they've gone and done so many amazing things. The staff, they went out their way of finding, staff that are not just gonna give that authentic Dominican service, but they all have unique talents that they like to showcase throughout the property. I was able to sit down and do a site inspection when we walked around the resort, and the chef made us a lobster pizza, came from behind the stove, and started singing and serenading the entire group. Now, I was completely blown away. You only see that type of stuff in the opera here in the US. But to see that right on property from the own staff members, it went a long way with us. But there's so many different aspects to the DR destination, and we have the best resorts, in my personal and honest and humble opinion.
I tell you, Malik, there is so much product for us to offer our clients. There is not a moment that anyone should doubt that Playa is the way to go. And, for us to just cap off this presentation, I would like you to speak to any um, guest benefits that they can accrue, because, a lot of our all inclusive properties are offering um rewards, membership benefits and reward benefits. I'm not quite sure if this is the same with Playa, encouraging them to stay there and try all their properties and add up all of their stays for added advantages. If there's any such offer that our clients need to know about, can you please enlighten us on those?
So through Hyatt, if you are a World of Hyatt member, you will also receive your points throughout your stay, and vice versa for those who have Hilton Honors memberships. That's an untapped market because there's so many persons out there that have a Hilton Honors number or a World of Hyatt membership, and that don't take advantage of going to all-inclusive stays. So that'll be a great opportunity for them to do so by getting into those different brands there. Again, I want to thank you so much for having me today. I hope that this was so informative for you all. And please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Sharon has my contact information. Always feel free to reach out to me via email, or you can also follow my Facebook page, Malik Hunt BDM, and that's MAHLIK, last name HUNT, BDM. On that on my Facebook page, I'll be posting some photos of all of our beautiful resorts if you just want to check those out throughout the times that you're looking to, wow your clientele. But I definitely want to appreciate you all, and hopefully when I come down to Jamaica, I see some of you all down in our properties. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Malik. It was so nice sharing time with you this afternoon. And yes, it's been a wealth of information. We can't wait to have all of this available for all of our clients and our agents who we have already encouraged that the Playa way is the right way. So until we see you in Jamaica or somewhere else, Malik, from Share Fantastic Travels and Resorts Limited, the Sweet Life Travel Podcast says, ciao for now.